Cody. Hey, bud. What are you doing? So here is Y in his beginner novice Area 3 championship test. And so coming down the center line, he's feeling nice and straight. And then for the beginner novice, we turn off the center line to come into the corner. And he's actually handling himself really well, being in this big arena. He feels very focused and pretty relaxed. You can see he's swinging through his tail and staying in a nice, consistent contact. And I have to make sure he doesn't want to get too low. So still with him being a green horse and developing his strength, he's got to still learn to come up from underneath. You can see that canter transition was quite lovely. And he has a very nice canter. And he's feeling very workmanlike. So now I asked for the down transition. Making sure I can get into the corners as much as I can. And now we cross the diagonal. Making sure we stay nice and straight. So then I can prepare for the corner a little bit here. You see, he lost a little bit of balance there. But again, sometimes it can be hard on the green horses when they cross the diagonal like that and they lose a little bit of focus. Into our 20-meter circle. And this time he was a little bit better. But he's keeping a nice rhythm. Again, you can see the swing through his tail. Now I'm preparing for my next canter transition, so I'm going to make sure I half halt him first. And that was a very nice transition. And again, he has a lovely canter. Every now and then he comes up a little bit, but he's staying pretty consistent. Now to the down transition. It's fairly smooth and into the walk. I'm going to make sure that I'm pushing him from the hind end to the front and to keep our walk pretty active. Now, sometimes what's actually hard in these lower level tests is there's a lot of walking, but that's because they want us to instill relaxation in the horses, which obviously that is a good thing. I tend to, with mine, always like to, when I'm walking, to give them a pat, because that tends to help them relax a little bit. And he did that transition fairly good. You could have a little bit more overreach at the walk, but there's also a balance of how much I can push without pushing him past the point. And then we pick up our trot. Now we just trot straight down the long side, and then we turn to come up the center line. And again, you can see he's a little bit off the track. Both him and Eton get a little worried still about the whiteboard, so I let them stay just a smidge off the track. It helps build their confidence as well. And then we come into our final halt through the walk. It's a little wide in front, but pretty square. Overall, I was really pleased. Ended up scoring a 30.3. And then on to cross country. He was pretty good heading to the first fence, and this is beginner novice. He's been schooling at the novice level, so this should be fairly comfortable for him, which it was. He's a funny guy because he likes to be pretty bold on cross country, but he still has a little bit of a peak sometimes. And so you see he's jumping pretty well. We have to kind of weave in between the trees. And I was really proud of him because of his focus. He really wasn't too worried about seeing spectators in certain spots. He's staying pretty focused there. And now we're coming to the water. See a good shot to that one. And then for this, I let him come. Now he does have experience going into water, but he can still be a little green. You see he gets a little nervous, but it's okay because I still am allowed to keep going forward. And so he goes in before the flag and off we go. Because he does stay in a pretty good rhythm, I do have to watch that I don't go too fast. And I was looking at my watch thinking, I'm going pretty quick. I might get some time faults here, so I need to slow down a little bit. And if we trot actually before the finish flags, we can get penalized for that. So you have to kind of do the work and manage your time, which I probably should have done a little bit better of. But I was having fun, and so was he. But here you can see he spooks. And I just kind of took the moment since I had the time to take that second. But there was a person that was behind that jump there, which they were walking their courses. And he just was not sure as to why she was behind that jump. Like I said, he was handling other spectators pretty well. But again, I wanted to use that as a training scenario. And once he relaxed and went, oh, it's not a big deal, then we carried on. And I'm just letting him lope on down to the last fence. Again, this is sometimes the hardest part at the beginner novice level with some of the horses, because if they jump in a rhythm, it's really easy to be quick around. But he put in a really nice round. It was really good and educational for him. And I was really pleased with him.
He likes to drink out of the hose. You're silly.
Then on to our final phase of show jumping. And again, we were in the new Stable View Arena with the big tree in the middle and then the stands along the side. So I wanted to make sure that he got a really nice view because the first fence was set right next to the grandstands. And of course, someone was walking right as we were going, so he lost a little bit of focus. But he is quite a good little keen jumper, and he jumped the first one really well. And I have to sometimes get a little creative of my line because he can be a strong little bold dude and wants to take over the balance sometimes. And sometimes I have to get a little creative in my stride, but he does those next two lines good. Does cross canter there, so I make sure I balance him and he can catch up with the hind leg. He actually has very good changes. Jumps that one quite lovely. And then coming around to this bending line. And this next fence is kind of a black, can be a little scary fence, so I want to make sure I supported with my leg. They're actually having a fair amount of fun though. He's feeling fantastic, jumping really well. I see a little bit of the gap. He humors me for that one. And then coming to the last, which is a double. And riding ponies can be a little tricky, but his stride had opened up and I really had to whoa for that. And he ended up jumping a really nice clean round. And we finished it up 5th in the beginner novice, which in turn also qualified us for the American Eventing Championships. So I was really proud of Wyeth. He did a great job representing the Mustangs this weekend.